Hi, I'm Jacob with Webology, and today we're going to be talking about the incredible power of content syndication. It's every digital marketer's dream to have syndicated content on a high authority site. But why? And how can I avoid getting penalized by Google for duplicate content if the whole purpose of syndicated content seems to appear as the republishing of an article on a different site? The real difference between duplicate content and syndicated content can be explained like this. Duplicate content was an issue before the internet even existed, and most definitely before it became an issue with Google. But today, we're just concerned with the way search engines address duplicate content. First, if there is a paragraph or two that is an exact match or similar to that found on a different site, it counts as duplicate content. And too much duplicate content on a site can eventually lead to a Google penalty. Well, for content to count as syndicated content instead of duplicate content, attribution has to be present and accounted for. Of course, there are exceptions to every rule. In this case, 3 types of content will not necessarily be flagged as duplicate content. These include discussion forums, products listings, and printer-only versions of content. It is imperative that you link back to the original site when it comes to syndicated content, because otherwise Google is going to flag it as duplicate and you might end up with a Google penalty. The reason that there is so much power in content syndication is because if you're fortunate enough to achieve it on a high authority site, you've gained access to a whole new audience that will lead to more exposure and traffic than you thought was even possible. Content syndication is one of the most effective ways to build your reputation and audience online. While there isn't a clear formula of how much of your content you should syndicate, it's still very important to be careful not to go overboard. Definitely don't syndicate content on a site that isn't more authoritative than you are, or not relevant to your business or brand. We can't blame Google for being annoyed by duplicate content. Their algorithm is designed specifically with the intent of making sure a user does not see the same thing more than once. All of us are secretly glad about this, because if we made a search and the same thing kept showing up over and over again, we wouldn't be happy with our search experience. However, it can be a difficult bridge to cross when we're making sure syndicate content doesn't look like duplicate content. If your website is semi-new to the world, you're probably going to jump on any and all opportunities to get content syndicated. If you're a well-established business with a website, you're probably going to be a little more picky about what gets syndicated and what doesn't. Always use your best judgment and don't syndicate on sites with less authority than your own. The most safe and effective way to have another website syndicate your content is to place a Canticle Tag on the same page with the article you've written. A Canticle Tag is an HTML element that informs Google that content that is found at multiple URLs and websites is actually one and the same. The goal is to tell the search engine that you are the original publisher and point viewers back to your site. It all comes down to the relevancy and website authority. There are times when it makes total sense to get your content syndicated. However, there are also times that this isn't a good idea. Like getting your content syndicated on a low authority website, there isn't a perfect formula when it comes to content syndication. But always be certain you're taking the time to make a well-informed decision, as well as being sure that it fits into your website's long-term goals. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Again, my name is Jacob Lambert. Tune in for more.